last days, perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Verse 5, and that's where we're going to stop for this morning. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such, turn away. May the Lord bless the reading of His word in Jesus' mighty name. From Matthew chapter 6, verse 10. From Matthew chapter 6, verse 10, we understand that man was created to do God's will on earth so that he can ultimately continue doing so when he gets to heaven. Although God has a plan for everyone He created, He will not force us to do anything or how you will personally benefit from it. If you're a lover of self, it will be difficult for you to really please God. Why? Your service will be plastic and superficial, having no depth in the things of the kingdom. So, a self-centered individual cannot make sacrifices for God. All he or she is interested in is personal convenience, whether in service, working, or giving. If such a fellow gives a big donation to any kingdom project, you will discover that the motive behind the giving is to have it announced for the sake of his or her ego. So God wants us to be God-centered, not to be self-centered. It should not be part of us that while we are giving purposely to be recognized and to be acknowledged, to be commended by men. By that, the Bible says you have received or you have obtained your reward. So God should be the one to recognize us and commend us. We should be after God, pleasing God, not pleasing any man, not pleasing anyone else, not pleasing ourselves, but pleasing God. He says in Samson loved such a selfish life. Even as a leader of God's people, he could not be controlled by his parents because selfish people are in charge of their own lives. Selfish people, they don't think about others. Their own is first on the list. That's the priority. It's about them, not about somebody else. And that is not the kind of ministry God has given unto us. The ministry of selfishness. That's not the kind of ministry that God has given unto us. If God has that kind of ministry, why will He send His only begotten Son to come and lay His life, to come and die for our sins so that we could be saved? Because already they are doing well. But God is never selfish. He thinks about us. He loves us. He cares about us. He wants our well-being. So we should also replicate same. And the Lord will help us in Jesus' precious name. So what are we talking about? We are saying that selfishness is not good at all. So a self-centered fellow lives in rebellion against God. He loves pleasure a lot because he delights in. Samson lived such a selfish life, even as a leader of God's people. He could not be controlled by his parents because selfish people are in charge of their own lives, not God or anyone else. His parents wanted him against marrying an unbeliever, but he refused. He went ahead because she satisfied the lust of his eyes and that of his flesh, according to Judges chapter 14 verse 1 down to verse number 3. Judges chapter 14 1 to 3. So your choices in life must be God-centered. Jesus is our perfect example. While on earth, he was mainly preoccupied with doing his Father's will. John chapter 4:34, our memory verse this morning. Jesus insisted. He did not hide it.